So what I find odd is a red science plus pi science, because you are basically guaranteed to have green science. You are basically guaranteed to have green science by the time you have pi science. So it's a little misleading to have a red plus a pi, because you won't have a pi science before green. I get that it's a decent enough way of having a level of progression, seeing that you're going from red science to red plus this new pi science, but it all depends on what the intended timing is. It all depends on what the intended timing is on a number of these techs. Because honestly, it's a little bit like, okay, once I have pi science, I effectively already have blue, right? So every single one of these sciences that are blue plus pi is the timing of when you can first get them. So it's just a matter of time before you've unlocked those techs, rather than having them as a science level block. So if the intention is to have stuff blocked by science level, well, by the time you get pi science, you effectively also have blue. So what is the point of having just red with pi, or red and green with pi, if you basically also have blue? So, yeah. Anyway, that's my initial thought is, huh? only way to do things without rewriting the whole tech tree. All right, sure. That's that's stuff. That's a tree. Antiviral. Yeah, that is a tree. Let's see. This goes all the way up through utility. Cool. That is blood. That is blood recipes. Hello. Alien life. Yay. Yes. Yay. Lots of alien life. This is a big tech tree. This is techs. Every single one of these techs. Every single one of these techs is added with alien life. All of this with the green outline has been added by alien life, and then we get all the regular techs, and then we get more alien life techs that don't need the pi science. So yeah, this is going to be very, very interesting. There's a lot of science. Auto-saving! Okay, what is next on the agenda? Trying to think. Well, I guess I technically need, like, the farms and the mines, so I need tin, so I need tin. I need tin. Tin. I need to transition to power so that I can mine tin. I need power. Must have power. Which means I must have more iron. Yes, more iron for electricity. That got rid of, like, all the coal that I just got. That's not ideal. Now, under normal circumstances, I would have, like, 10 of these, so... Yeah, this... Yes, all that. All that. Do all that. Thanks. And give me a lot more of these. We need scale. Scale first, then transition. Scale and then transition. Is there new rubber besides the 4 we had? There is not. But they all also now require latex. Rubber exists as it is, and latex has been added to the recipes for them. Now, polybuta has not changed. It is the exact same. Carbon black has not changed. It is the exact same. Of which crude is the cheaper, I would imagine. I'm going to need to set up Nextlit. And Chrome. Early. Really early. I'm going to want to set up Nextlit so that I can get... Which refinery was that? Gas refinery, I think, needs the Nextlit? Something needs Nextlit. Yes, gas refinery. I want this because this allows me to convert natural gas into syngas. Let's see if that recipe even still exists. Oh, hello. I found a new syngas recipe. I was looking for this recipe. So Nextlit is, it doesn't exist in reality. Like Nextlit is not real. It's just for the game. It's just for the Pi suite. It exists in Pi. As far as I know, as far as I can tell. I've yet to been informed otherwise. Nextlit is just Nextlit. Fantasy material. Why does it exist? I don't know, but it's a thing. It just exists. How many are left here? 1, 2, 3. Well, I guess I have to wait. 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 more. Give them coal. Thanks. Let there be iron. So I have a tendency to, like, do things at scale. Big scale these days. Most of the time it's required. 100% required. Sometimes not necessarily, and it just ends up delaying things further than they need to be. Just to throw that thought out there. Also, deep water wells are great. I want all of them that I can possibly get. Yeah, I'm sure it's inspired by something that exists in reality, but as a concept itself, Nextlit is its own thing. It's not exactly real. But yeah, probably just some combination of alloys, some what is it called? It's an abstraction of a concept that exists, most likely. So, Stonewater Wells is a separate mod from the Pi suite entirely. It's somewhat cheap in that it's stone bricks, and iron, and copper. The total raw there with the wood is the handcrafted circuit recipe to make the offshore pump. But in the Pi suite, there is a free water in the form of a recipe for the Pi pump jacks. I don't have access to the pump jacks yet, but if I do water, if I do a search for water, if I scroll down the product of list right here, machines for oil industry 1. Yes, Pi added his own thing. It is an oil, is a pump jack recipe. So the Pi pump jacks that you can place anywhere will give you water on demand. You just have to build the Pi pump jacks. The Pi pump jacks are not exactly cheap. But the stone water well is also, it is much cheaper by comparison. This is a rather large building, for reference. So are the Pi wells, but I think the basic well is actually smaller than this. I'm pretty sure that the level 1 well is smaller than this, but it doesn't give you the full 1200 per second throughput either. How many are left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? Still need one more. There we go. It's 2, 4, 6, 8, 16. By the way, what? What is the by the way? The stone well is equivalent to a Mark IV derrick. Okay. Well, the in size? Or throughput? Throughput. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. You're sure it's Mark IV? Thought it was smaller than that. But yes, it is a 1200 per second. So the stone water well is a offshore pump in disguise in terms of how it's coded. It is an offshore pump that with a different sprite and size. Like, programmatically, it is an offshore pump, so it is 1200 per second of water throughput. What I refer to as a full throughput pipe. I don't think about distance anymore for the fluid mechanics in this game. I just ask myself, is it 1200 per second or is it above? If above, use an additional pipe. If below, one pipe is fine. Okay, need to think. Need these. Just a few of these. Need just a bit of belt. Need all right, Shift C to the thing. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Some of those. Wow, copper finally rearing its ugly head as a limitation. Right. I should probably expand the copper a little bit to before we really move on. But yeah, feel free to let me know about things to add, to talk about, to look at. Auto-saving. Gosh, the autosave is fast, despite that much of the map being revealed. Oh hey, I found salt. I found the salt. Salt's here. That's good. Lots of phosphate. Ooh, more salt. So salt, by the way, is 10 per second per rock. So this is 7. That's 70 per second of salt in that patch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, at least 7 here. That might be a salt there or a phosphate. There's lots of phosphates too, which is very nifty. Nifty. Yes, not enough. Never enough salt. Never enough salt around the place. Ooh, chromium. Rock. Oh, hello. That's an oil patch. That is an oil patch. Oh, hey, I found a uranium rock. Hey, it's a uranium rock. That's nice. Yeah, so can I say that I've got, like, all the ores? I'm gonna, like, have to build over the ores, just saying. Sulfur, good. Yes, generous resources. I figured, you know what, we may as well have good resources on the map. I will probably just ignore the vast majority of these. For reference, the vast majority of these will be ignored. I'll purposefully do distant resource patches just to have trains and do distances and distance mining and stuff and all that. Because, you know, RSO, despite me having a smaller resource generation, trying to do a rail map for the On the Rails playthrough, RSO still gave me resources that were like very close to me and my spawning position. I was like, really? Really, RSO? You're gonna still put so many things really close by? Ah, boy. So you know what? I have to, at this point, just say screw it, and we're going to fully explore everything that we have on offer with Alien Life at this point, it being new, without focusing on the, 3? Yeah. Without focusing so much on the rarity or slash scarcity of resources. Bigger colon tech. Bigger colons. Manure. It's full of manure. Engineered supercolon. Able to improve the manure production. Will override the original ones. Yes. All the manure. All of the manure. So as you get to this point, when you get to this point, these override an existing set of recipes, apparently. Huh. Interesting. Comes after genetic design, which is going to need Biotech Mark II with no turning back. Tech-based upgrades, yep. Ahem. Yeah, that's the thing. Explosive diarrhea. Am I playing Binding of Isaac now? Am I playing Binding of Isaac? There's totally an item in that game called explosive diarrhea, or an effect called explosive diarrhea in Binding of Isaac. It makes you literally poop bombs behind you, and you have to like keep running, and you just do this trail of bombs that are going to explode on you if you don't keep moving. That's the explosive diarrhea effect in Binding of Isaac. Oh, it's been a long time since I've played Binding of Isaac, unfortunately. Or fortunately. It's a very weird game. It's a very weird game. Okay, what else do I need? You. Definitely need these. I need more. More of the everything is what I need going forward. All of this that we've been doing, by the way, just in the game, this whole time, unchanged. This is just standard play at the moment. until we get into the, I guess until we get glass, which means we need tin. So things aren't actually going to change effectively outside of making aluminium early. Yeah, so several techs will upgrade, which means that you can screw your whole setup up if you upgrade them without pre-planning for the change. Well, let's see. Colon. Bigger colon. What recipe? What tech first adds the manure recipes? That's the question. Or do they just exist normally? They might just exist normally. So it depends, because this is going to apparently take water in, give you barrels out, take stuff in and do stuff out. So let's see. Muck manure 1A in the muckmo pasture. Let's see how this recipe. So 615.5. Thank you so much for the follow, Zombie Moose. 615.5. 615.5 from 7 to 8 every 100 seconds. Every 100 seconds. So if you're doing something with belts, this can be problematic. If you're doing belts and if you've set up the amounts to have the throughput for belts as you're doing upgrades to the recipes, you can end up being bottlenecked based off of your belts if you're doing belts. Could, if you haven't planned for it ahead of time. Okay, moving right along. Do I want a radar? I don't think I need a radar, actually. I don't think I need a radar. Why did it... Oh, I know why. So this is an RSO setting, just for reference. I get this question a lot. How do you reveal the resources on the map like that? It's a setting for RSO. Resource spawner overhaul. It's a tick box. Reveal spawned resources right here. This little check mark. What that does is when a resource spawns, because the game generates the chunks a little bit ahead of what's been revealed. So if they're the way that this chains like this far out is you start the game, you have your starting area, and that's revealed. The game will load the chunks in the not revealed area a couple chunks away in the black fog. If a resource is there, RSO will reveal that resource, and it's like a radar scan over that spot in the resource. Well, that area has now been revealed, so the game will load more chunks slightly outside of that area in the black fog. If another resource is there, well, RSO is going to completely reveal the full extent of that resource. And it keeps chaining like that until it gets to the point where the areas that are spawned in as chunks around the revealed areas don't have any resources. And it just so happened that we had a lot of resources. That's just how that went down. Speaking of, since this also gets brought up a fair bit, F4. Show FPS, show debug info on tooltips, show recipe icons on map. Show FPS for this up in the corner, show debug info on tooltips, show recipe icons on map. Just push F4 for that list. That is brought up a lot. I get asked about that a lot. I always have to make sure to point that out, that is a vanilla mechanic. You can do this on a regular vanilla playthrough without any mods whatsoever, and it does not invalidate achievements either. You are fully able to play with achievements and use any/all of those debug settings. And there's a lot on that list that you can go down and just explore, play around with them. Some of the info is a little bit jarring. Like, this is every single setting on. This is what the game looks like with every single one of those F4 settings turned on. That's hitting F5, by the way. F5. You have a game. If you ever wondered what the game looked like from the code level, oh boy. It's a bit of a rainbow in terms of just how much gets tracked and how much exists. It's a lot. Yeah, things like show tile grid actually would be very important. I might like having the tile grid on at all times. You can actually do the tile grid by doing, what is it, shift space? In case you didn't know, Factorio has a pause button. Factorio has a pause button. It's actually a button combination. It's shift plus space. And it gives you an actual grid. And these are, the bold lines are the actual chunks that the game generates. Chunks of tiles. So when I refer to chunks, that's each of these squares of tiles. That is a chunk in size. And if there's things in a chunk, then the chunk is active. If there's things not in the chunk is inactive. But it still exists, and it sits there, and it takes up resources. And there are commands that you can do to delete inactive chunks as well, to help with mega bases and all that good stuff. If you've revealed a lot of the map and you don't need all of it revealed, you can delete inactive chunks, and the game will remove them for you. What am I building again? Oh, right. Some of these. Yeah, some of these would be good. And a bunch of that. Where do I want the power to exist initially? Always a good question. Where should the power exist? So, complications of this map. Some complications of this map. Iron is down here. Copper's here. Coal is here. Glass is here. Tin is here, or here, or here. Here, here, or here. And aluminium is down here or over here. What does this mean for power? Well, it means that I would have to have probably the power on top of the lead. I'm probably going to have the power on top of the lead here. I mean, I could have it between these. I prefer having the power close to the coal. In the alternative, I just say screw it and I'll do it to the north of the coal here. This is why I made this. So, why one makes the deep water wells? So that you don't get confined to the thingies. Yes, thingies. Do I want that here, though? I guess I'll have it here, even if I don't want it there. So, quiz time. For something I don't even know the answer to myself. What's the ratio again? How many boilers can a full throughput yellow belt feed of 4 megajoule coal? I could do this math, but I do know that the answer is less than 40, which is actually incredibly important to remember. That value is a value that is less than 40. That is the ratio of water to boilers to steam engines. What I'm referring to is the ratio of coal to boilers. So boilers consume 1.8 megawatts at maximum output. If you have 20 times 1.8, that's 36 megajoules. A yellow belt is 15 times 4 is 60 megajoules. So this is consuming more than half of the yellow belt. Coal or raw coal? Regular coal. I'm just making the point that even in and this applies in vanilla as well. Space-wise, it is very efficient to have 2 boiler lines set up next to each other with a single line of coal. However, if that line is coal, and if it is a yellow belt, it cannot feed 40 boilers into 80 steam engines. There is going to be a loss if you are pulling / if you're using all of that power. If you're not using all of that power, then sure, it's fine. But the point is that you can use all of that power, and it won't be enough to feed it because you need 36 times 2. You need 72 megajoules of coke. 72 megajoules of coke, which happens to be as much power as you have out. If you divide that by 4, that's 18 per second, not 15, so you're 3 short. And the inserters would use a lot if you maintain burner inserters for that. I don't like maintaining burner inserters for that, but I do if I have to. Now I also need to consider, like, okay, did I just make only 2? I meant to make 4. One of these is half per second, 0.5, that's 2 megajoules. That'll give me 2 megawatts per second, so that's not even going to feed 4 of these at max. Wow, 29 viewers? That is the highest view count I think I've seen on my channel thus far. Hello, everyone. Good to see all of you. Welcome to the beginning of a PyAlien Life playthrough. It is highly unfortunate that we are not going to really be seeing PyAlien Life stuff on the map existing. Although over the course of the stream today, we have had a lot of discussion over the changes that have been made in PyAlien Life, such as red science now being incredibly many steps. Such as blue science, such as green science being incredibly many steps, on top of also needing things from red. Blue science needing many more things. Things that also get used in green science as well, and red. even purple science has been touched. Purple science has been touched and had a whole cobalt processing chain added to it. There is the introduction of a whole new science pack that will have stuff that's used in green and blue science to make. Yes, I am insane person. I am insane person. This is true. I am insane person to have played through and streamed a full Pyanodon playthrough with all the way up to quantum computing. I am an insane person to try to get a 1 science per second base. I think that this playthrough is going to be a 1 science per second base. Just for reference. Point of reference. Pydew Valley, which will be the name of our stream here, this series. This is going to be a 1 science per second base. Probably. We shall see. We shall see how it turns out. The idea is that I will play this like the On the Rails base. I'll have a ton of resources to choose from, but yeah, I'll play it like a rail base. Thank you so much for the follow. A Korean name that I will never be able to pronounce, because I don't know how to. Like, I know that's Korean characters. Besides the 38. So hello, 38. That's what I'll call you. I know enough that it's Korean. Now, if it was Japanese characters, I would probably be able to pronounce it. Sadly, not Korean. I haven't had that experience yet.